Over the top, both is that statement and the team we were watching. But they were our worst team out of everyone in this lobby. They were 30th. They just got into this last chance qualifier. But that doesn't mean they don't have the chance to actually get into the finals, but it just means that they were struggling a little bit in the lobby. So I want to keep an eye on them, especially the fact that they've only got 2 players now, because that's going to make things increasingly difficult getting to this last lobby, as Fenerbahce Esports were on board with. And I remember week 1, I was very excited to see what this team had to offer. And I know they struggled here and there, but I still think they have a chance of doing some damage here, but they are going to be pushed. There is going to be aggression coming out of YDN here.
And bad news, everybody, because Big Chunk Funk has been taken down, I believe it was, which is making me sad because I love that name. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it rolls off the tongue. A little bit like a marble. But YDN Esports, unfortunately, can't get the finish here, and they've managed to escape. Don't ask. It's not worth it. It's not worth anyone's time. Navi getting involved in the kill feed as well, as one of the players from Waggers will be taken down. Rube is going to be taken down by FaZe. So now we are starting to see a little bit of action, and this Harvester rotation moving through this area is such a tough thing to do with the elevation and the narrow hallways, and some nice shots there from Draconian with the triple take. It's just going to slow this push down a little bit. But speaking of Navi, it's all going to be up to Claws here, and I think this might be a 1v1, and Navi are going to be eliminated.
Really, that Lava City boys get third-partied or someone else shoots them from elsewhere, but they are able to get behind that little blue truck, which means they might be able to just get away. So not the end of the world for them just yet here on World's Edge.
Well, it's going to be a circle that finishes actually, I believe, in quite an open area here to the north of where you are seeing that next circle potentially close. So teams who are in Fragment East at the moment are going to have to make their way across to Fragment West, and this is where we're going to see so many teams get involved in fights and so many teams start to drop as well, as we now go down to 14 squads just like that. Click your fingers.
I think that is sometimes the difficulty with rotating in late, is that you kind of go all in on the Wraith portal, and if it doesn't work, you really just get left for dead. Like, there is no chance of escaping it if a team is on the end of your portal.
Well, it looks like Lava City boys are going to heal up here and then take that portal. It's actually not going to have time, and it looks like they're going to try and play this wall, which will give them a little bit of time, or buy them a little bit of time, and they're kind of hoping, I believe, that there are going to be some teams who get involved in fights, as they move into that circle to get some extra placement points. Another 2 teams make that 3 teams that's going to drop here. I believe Purge were one of those teams as well. There's a couple of rats being taken out, but Third Impact set up beautifully here inside this building. The question is here, can they pick up these KP? Do they have the angles to work with? And they are going to have to move. As I say, it's going to finish in that open ground. Lava City boys now involved in a fight, and they do manage to get a knock, but unfortunately, they will be taken down as the shots start to ring out across here in Fragment West.
Lava City boys go down. Cooler Esports are also very weak, and now Third Impact, they want a little bit of a sniff of this. They come out of hiding, and they get the kill points for it, down to just 3 squads.
For those other 2 teams to fight before you look to pounce.
15 seconds, and sometimes you just have to wait for that circle to kind of give you a kick up the backside before you push in, and try and position yourself as close as possible so you don't take any unnecessary damage, and that's exactly what Outsiders have done here. They've been able to work their way around, but they do need to be careful as shots are coming from the north there, and it is going to be bodyguards up just with a little bit of wall coverage, but they're going to have to push out of this cover now as this circle comes in, and they have to be careful from the east, Mark.
Yeah, and Outsiders here holding down this position. A big Thermite as well is going to force these 2 teams to fight. You can see trying to use those mechanics here, Legit Lolly, to get out of that situation, avoid some shots, but here comes the push again. Yasiltar with the devotion is going to take down Legit Lolly, and Mistral has managed to get out of that situation and stay alive as well. There's one player in a corner, he gets taken out as well, and Outsiders with a clean wipe here of this team. One more Pathfinder left inside the building, he gets taken down, and look, there's a Wraith as well, and it should surely, in this situation, be Outsiders to finish this off, but they can't land those final shots and try and play aggressive and take that fight and turn it into a 3v2 situation where they could then move a little bit more freely across the map. They've also, most importantly, managed to work themselves into that next circle, so now they've got time to play with, as Vibing now with the charge rifle in hands, as Biting is hitting some nice shots with that to back them down. The question is here, how long is this battle going to go in? Because the longer it goes on, it means that the more opportunity there will be for a third party to move in, as Bryn does manage to hit some nice massive shots. He gets the finish onto Knights as well, so now it is, I believe, a 2v2 situation, but he can't get the armor swap off in time, and now it all falls onto the shoulders of Bryn here. as Vibin are trying to move in, biting. Exorcism are going to have one of the toughest rotations to make here as they make their way uphill, and then they have to make their way downhill with everybody looking over them from Refinery. Fenerbahce Esports still involved, but only for a few seconds as they get absolutely shredded by the teams who are set up on that high ground. Taboo is the last man alive. His two teammates have been taken down, and you can go and join them in the dirt. That was a fantastic wipe coming in there from those teams, and it was multiple teams who were actually involved in that shooting. Navi now trying to shoot some fish in a barrel as they move down from that high ground, and you can see how difficult the rotation is now for these teams from Epicenter. Everybody looking out towards the south of the map, trying to pick up KP, as we're going to see Knights.
Very little real estate to work with, and there's going to have to be some big shots landed, as there is going to be a battle here on the top. Exorcism have a really good spot, but they might have to win this fight if they want to keep hold of it.
Will execute here inside as well, and you can see having to queue out of this position. It looks like they're a little bit stuck in this area, having to use that Wattson ult to offer some sort of protection, as Gatorix is trying to use his knockdown shield as well, just to eat up a few bullets in a few seconds before Big Chunk Funk might come under pressure himself. And let's see if the funky one can bust out the moves in this situation to get out of this sticky spot. But dead inside, stuck, looking down on it at the moment, and that is going to be Purge, I believe, who are going to be taken down, as we now go down to 11 squads in this game. And you can just look at the kill feed here. Different players from different teams being dropped in different situations. Exorcism, though, up on this high ground, have made this move, and big, massive shots are going to be huge for them to potentially hold down this position. Dead inside, make the push inside as well, as now you're going to see the Caustic desperately trying to get away, as Stanny is going to try and queue out of position here to stay alive. He becomes the kill leader with that kill as well. And Outsiders, the winner of our first game, are still involved in our top 9 here. The Yasilta has just been dropped.
Yeah, they're involved, but they are struggling. But Mistral does have gold armor, so he does have the ability to heal up here, but he's just very aware that there are teams above him. That caustic gas caused so much damage right at the bottom, and now it's just about trying to just survive here if you're one of these bottom teams. There are a couple of teams who are above you, and they are going to be in prime position really to win this game. Exorcism are one of those teams I called out earlier, but this battle is still going on up here, Mark. No one has been able to win this fight, even with some of these big, massive shots being landed, and you've got to be careful here that you don't give away any sort of easy knock, because otherwise the team is going to get aggressive and take this position off you.
Legit Lolly dropping down to pick up some meds there, I believe, and Third Impact are now making their move as well. And it's Legit Lolly who came out of nowhere back up that wall to land some big shots with a devotion. He's going to grapple back up as well, but doesn't have the ability to finish off that team up top. So that will be them taken down, as Big PP Aura are going to be involved as well. But again, shots just catching him as he tried to back down around that corner. And Chaos and Zanma now trying to hold on in this situation. Outsiders, although they've lost their Pathfinder Yasilta, still in this game inside the top 4. Lazarus, another team I can see picking up kill points here in the feed. Mistral with the gold armor. Kader with the red as well, fully decked out Evo shield here. The question is, can he find the meds to get back up to a full complement of HP, as Lazarus now are going to be contested for this high ground?
How on earth is these fights still happening up here? No one's been able to come out on top. There's just so many teams trying to take this spot. Decent shots yet again. That's going to be one more knock, and Lazarus still have a pretty healthy squad here. Might even be able to get the revive. They have to be careful. Look where the next circle is going to be going in 1 minute. You're going to have to jump off that building. So maybe actually Outsiders could be in prime position, but these are some big shots being hit by Jules. And he is going to continue pushing here. Gets the second. And now we're down to just 2. And I'm fairly certain it's Outsiders. Yes, it is, but they smell blood. They want to get in on this one, Mark.
Pathfinder will be taken down here. 2 squads remaining. Kader and Mistral looking to make it back-to-back here in our first 2 games on World's Edge. They get the finish on 1. And you can see that Yuki, he's going to be the player to be taken down. Mistral knows this is a 2v1 situation, I do believe. And it's going to be Jules, the last man alive here, trying to get those heals off. The issue for him is he's in a very, very tough spot here. Not only does he have to rotate, and it looks like he's going to have to rotate through this team, who are up on top at the moment, Outsiders. It's a 1v2 situation. He has a Mastiff and a Flatline to work with. He has to get big damage off and try and separate these 2 players before he engages with the second.
Yeah, he's thinking about where else he can go and see if he can rotate differently, and it does look like
I think he might die to the zone here.
But he is just going to die, and Outsiders take game 2.
Totem, you really can be left in no man's land. So I think there is a little bit more to it than a lot of people maybe give it credit for, to be continually successful with it. I think a lot of teams might use it for the odd pop-off game and try and hope that they can be aggressive with it. But you have to be smart. You have to have brains about you if you want to get into those end circles. You might be able to push one team and get some KP, but if you do it badly, then you're pretty much out of dodge. And without those ultimates, you're just 3 men walking along with no defensive capabilities.
Just 3 guys walking along, trying to have a good day.
Walking along, man. You know,
it just doesn't work out. No Revenant ultimate to save you. But you are right. But the thing is, teams are starting to perfect it a little bit, and they are finding the right times to push and get aggressive, and that's why it is so terrifying in the right hands, as Lazarus are under quite a lot of fire here. They do have a bit of utility to try and get themselves out of dodge, but Purge are going to be putting some fire in their backside. Down to 14 squads. Lazarus have lost now 2 members and potentially a 3rd there. They are very close to being out of this lobby, and a lot of teams banked on this being a Geyser pool, Mark, but it actually is heading up towards the tunnel next to Geyser, near that vault.
You are going to see it probably ending outside of that vault, just outside that door there, right at the north tip of Geyser. So teams who did kind of guess that it might be going no name and or weren't able to rotate in here are going to be potentially being eliminated on their way through here. And one team who's trying to get involved in a fight is going to be over the top. The problem for them is they're being taken down as we see some big, massive shots coming in from Streamy here. And over the top, who kind of on the back foot for a little bit of that fight, managed to convert on their opportunities.
As you can see out of the window, just to try and get them into a certain situation. However, for Purge, well, do they have a Wraith portal to work with? How are they going to get out of this? Or are they just going to try and force their way up to the high ground and just take the gunfight? As here they go. They know there is a Wraith behind them. Disbelief manages to get one. Exorcism are going to be in prime position to get all these oncoming players here. So much damage being done with this devotion as well.
The only problem is he's only got 1 more bullet to work with, and then it's just a Peacekeeper here for Taskmaster of Exorcism as he tries to stay alive and pick up some of these KP along the way. And all he really did in that situation, to be honest with you, was drop shields as Ozus comes in now to try and pick up some of those KP. Figvam in a great position here with the fully automatic Prowler to work with as well. Lots of shots going to be landed, and they're good enough. Taskmaster, the last man alive for them, as he's trying to sneak his way along and be a rat, basically. Just be a rat. Be one with the rat.
Be one with the rat. And I'm excited for rats, because it means that maybe I can perform a little bit of a poem of my own later on. But the bombardment will be... I might have something available for you. We'll see. It depends when the moment's right. But Waggers are under a lot of trouble here. And they do perform some couple of good shots just to stay alive, but Waggers... Well, this is not good. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place. All the ultimates coming down. Now everyone wants a piece of this. They are just candy to be taken here.
The team that's pushing them is Navi as well. So this is a huge fight for Navi, and I think the Navi have actually managed to win that. The only problem is, here comes a third party, and Lava City Boys are them, and that is going to be Navi out again, I believe.
In a great spot now to just rain down hell on those who are going to be below them, but they have to be careful as to where they're getting shot from at the same time. Just do enough damage and take enough shots at people so that they aren't able to fire comfortably back at you, but also being well aware of what else is available and where else you could be shot from, as they are going to have to rotate eventually. And they do have the Pathfinder zip to do so, and that's going to be some big damage coming out from the R99. Mastiff gets whipped out, and that, I think, is going to be a wipe onto Execute. 4 kills now for Ballon G, and Navi are doing a little bit of work here.
This is big. This is big from Navi. As you say, big shots from them. As there's a 2-man to take that team down. Lazarus, who are kind of gatekeeping their way in towards that zone, or trying to gatekeep Figvam, who managed to relocate themselves. And now they're coming under fire. You can see that is going to be Navi, who are in that position. Looks like they're going to try and move in towards that shuttle that is just below them. You can see a team up on the height just to the south of them as well, with that Gibby bubble that's going to be there. So Navi kind of in a sticky spot here, as Figvam have decided to try and push this. Maybe they realize it's a 2-man here, and they're going to try and make this play as they're going to force them through the portal, but shots going to be exchanged. Question is, can we keep an eye on that kill feed? Are Navi going to be able to survive this?
Well, they block off the portal to come back. Navi trying to get to the shuttle, but now they are just going to have to try and escape using every little nook and cranny to dodge and dip out of the way. But now Navi fall. But at least they did better. They were able to get into that top 10 and get some KP, which is pretty decent considering they were down to just 1 man at one point in the early stages of this game. But unfortunately, they were just sussed out. But now Fenerbahce are having a little sniff on this one. They realize there is potential KP below them, and they are quite far away from the circle. So it comes back to our original conversation of you need to know when to hold and when to fold, and when you need to push in and get aggressive and try and take advantage of maybe some weaker positioning from your enemies so that you can pick up not free KP, but easier KP.
Phoenix was trying to be a little bit sneaky here, but he's going to be called out. His footsteps were too loud for the team that were looking onto him, as Messenger now is going to be the last alive. Has to dodge and dip, and he's got not much HP to work with. And what a push that was from Fenerbahce Esports. They should be able to get the armor swaps as well. And as a two-man to wipe that three-man, that's absolutely huge for them. As Outsiders now looking on towards the edge of the circle and all this carnage that's going down. Can they pick up some KP on these teams that are weak? It looks like they've decided to rotate back, get those heals off, as Cooler Esports are lighting up the kill feed as well, as FigFam now involved in a battle once more.
Yeah, FigFam are going to want to get a little bit aggressive on that one player who was pushing up towards them, but carry does go down. It looks like it's going to be okay because Draconian and Pinky Finky fall, so that's going to be Fenerbahce out, and we're down now to just our last 5 squads. But shout out to Fenerbahce for still doing a good job, even though they only had the 2 players remaining. But FigFam still very healthy. Our winners of Game 3 might be able to get some decent placement points here, but are they going to be able to position themselves to get into a potential winning position? No, but maybe Outsiders could, but they're also caught on the rotation here. Both these teams trying to work their way into this next circle, Mark.
Yeah, Outsiders should be pretty comfortable here. They have high ground. They have that zip as well to try and rotate out. They have complete control.
Just so they have a little bit more cover, because Outsiders, well, they are outside them right now and definitely can do some real damage from this height. And Nook is going to fall on Finalize, so now this is going to be a little bit tricky for them. We are going to see YDN getting it up in their face, but 2 fall for YDN as well. And now we just see so much damage coming down. The bombardment also comes through. The Gibby ult is doing enough, really, to make this fight so difficult for both teams.
You feel like Outsiders have this game in their hands. If they can win a fight and maybe get a couple of armor swaps onto Kada as well, and Mistral, and that would certainly help their chances. Just trying to get the thirst on that player down low as well, which they should be able to do pretty comfortably, as Finalize now are down to those final players, and that final moment won't be good for them, as Cooler, actually, excuse me, are the other team who are involved. So we've got Outsiders versus Cooler. The armor advantage very much with Outsiders, and with with Cooler. Plus they have the Kraber to work with. One big shot here from Rowe, and this could open it up for the push.
They are in the next circle, but Outsiders are going to be above them. And as you say, this Kraber could be huge. You need to hit your shots, but he's got the R99 out instead, and that's going to be the first down. Mistral falls, and now Cooler have the player advantage and arguably should be winning this game.
Shots from Usilta is going to back that push down, though, and Yuki does actually fall. So it's a 2v2 situation now. Shots again with the Mastiff. Good ones as well, as Rowe is going to be, I believe, the last player alive here for Cooler. He's in a 1v1. He manages to get some shots down. Usilta, though!
They are a team I would expect to be in the top 10 just from what they've had to offer in other tournaments. And I know the ability they do have as a squad, as FigFam just trying to utilize some of these grenades to do some big damage and maybe force out a couple of rats that might be hiding, as we do have quite a lot of rats. I mean, that's why Ratcam has been following quite successfully, finding many hiding around this map, as there's going to be one taken out just now. Disbelief will fall, and so does Sadyama. 11 squads left now.
Well, here comes the Crypto ult, though, just as we see fights really starting to pick up. And look at those shots with that gold Prowler. Unfortunately, though, for the Wraith player, he's going to be dropped just before he managed to get around that corner. So FigFam are going to have to get their teammate back up into this game, as YDN are actually going to be converting on that opportunity. And Xander is going to go down now, but the gold bag is going to at least bring them back to half health off of that revive, as we see a Gibraltar trying to sneak in behind Carrie Rubik, who now, as the Wattson player, is going to be the last alive, but he is not longed for this world.
Now with 30 seconds with this ring to close, things are going to start to explode here just south of where they are right now.
Nice shots with the wingman from Roger Bodger, as Lazarus Esports find themselves in a battle here just by the respawn beacon on the cage, and the bubble fight is going to keep going down. Nice shots again from Lazarus, and that is the cleanest of clean sweeps. Unfortunately for them, a third-party shot does come in to knock down Roger Bodger, who will have to be revived, but Savage should be able to do so fairly comfortably as he managed to scoot his way into a tight little corner. Eda's going to put down the portal as well, as it's actually YDN who have managed to move up onto this position and kind of trying to hold them out here, but the portal should allow them to potentially get away here. But it looks like YDN are going to set up a zip line of their own to try and cut that pathway off of the team who they just managed to get some damage down onto. But YDN here, team above them on this high ground. It looks like they want to try and take this high ground from them, as they're just outside that next circle, and with an L-Star in your hand on the Gibraltar, maybe not the best of guns, but that thing can still do a shift here on Apex Legends. It still can do some big damage.
A little bit of running gun is what we need to see from YDN now, but there's grenades underneath them. The Gibby bubble will be popped just to try and survive, but they can't get out of all these shots that are raining down from various different locations. YDN are just falling like flies. Nito's going to be the only remaining player. Outsiders, again, with a little bit of a height advantage, but they are right on the edge of this circle. So you can see they're trying to use
for another weapon. The only problem is he can't find one that takes his fancy at the moment. Finalized, another team who are in a great position towards this end circle up on that high ground. And here comes third impact, I believe, as the crypto ult is going to hit. Here comes the Revenant push as well. One will get sent back, but look at the damage that's been done already. One knockdown onto Takeda, and surely this is going to be a clean sweep here for third impact. It is, and Outsiders will go down here in this game number 5.
Something popped up there, which was terrifying. I don't know what it was, but we can ignore it for now. 5 squads remaining, and third impact are doing third impact things. And as you say, when the Revenant hits, oh, it hits good. YDN down to just 1. They're going to be ratting their way to try and survive into maybe top 3 to get some more placement points here. And it looks like he's just going to be in the next circle if he edges forward a little bit more. Bodyguards also down just to 1. So third impact, one of the most healthy squads right now, and their aggression on Kings Canyon is starting to pay off, and here comes some more damage from them again. This should be easy pickings for them, but I don't think they have to drop into this bubble. They've got the high ground, they've got everything they need to win this game right now, Mark.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of rats on the map. Phoenix has done a fantastic job, to be honest with you, to get into that top 5 position from that. He was one of the rats that we were watching, and unfortunately had to be front and center stage for the poetry that did come out, but finalized still in this fight as well. The issue for them is they do have, of course, the team that is above them, third impact, but here comes the push. No regard for anyone's safety here. Third impact, they do drop. The Revenant will be taken down, but it's KP for days for them. You can hear the shields being cracked. Finalized, still very much alive as the Gibraltar is going to dive in here onto third impact, but even though they've lost Ballon G, there's still a 2-man in this situation as the Wraith has a Peacekeeper, and that's a big chunky shot onto Zeki.
One hell of a shot, but here comes YDN, the final remaining member, also with a Mastiff of his own, but he is going to go down. And Jazz now can get this res. And third impact still going to be in the perfect position. Just 2 squads left now, and I think it might just be a rat that they're going up against.
So now the question is, where does the rat reside? And it is not a rat. It's actually a full team. Exorcism here, who are crouching down into labs and waiting till the last second to portal out. The question is, can they land without taking too much damage as a 3-man? That would be massive if they managed to reset here in third impact. I think the last thing that they were expecting was a team to be portaling on them in those last moments. Exorcism, though, not being able to execute on this play, and it looks like Zeki and Jazz are going to be able to clutch up in this moment, withhold that final push, and yes, they do in the next tournaments that they are involved with. But Waggers, another team who, to be honest with you, really have disappointed a little bit so far today, right at the bottom of the table as well. And I think that Arcstar just summed up everything about how their day has gone so far.
Whereas for Bodyguards, they're of course one of these teams that are already in the top 10. They're in 8th at the moment, so they could do with surviving all of this kerfuffle at the start. They need to stop this bombardment from Waggers. A decent amount of damage will whip out the wingman for some shots, but has to back off and go down as the rest of the team will heal up and reevaluate how they're going to get the push. There's going to be one falling on either side right now, and Weigas seem to have the advantage and might be able to get the res off here, but they are going to back off because here comes Navi, Mark. They need a big game here, and this could be some huge KP for them.
They do need a big game, and they're hitting some big shots as well as 9imps is going in and trying to finish off this. Gibby does get the beatdown onto him to finish off that fight, and that is good aggression. And look at the composition, Dan.
Yep.
We are seeing the Wraith, Crypto, Revenant composition here from Navi. They know the situation they're in. They know they have to be aggressive.
Yes, okay, that's going to leave yourself somewhat vulnerable as teams are going to know you've gone for that respawn. But I think that they really need the full squad of 3 if they're going to make an impact in this game. As here comes Big PP Aura now, and it's going to be aggression from Zammart. Does have the R99 with an R301 in his back pocket. Some real damage there. Carry Rubik will fall. But unfortunately, there's another team here, and everyone is just wanting a piece of this. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that one up there. That's what every single time that we head here on Kings Canyon, that song is replaying on a loop in my head. The Outsiders, who have been essentially looping themselves back into first place every single game that we've had so far today. They have 3 wins under their belt out of the 5 games that we've had in total. Are actually going to be inside that circle where they think the circle is going to be. And currently, Bryn is having a sprinting race with this circle and just about manages to stay alive as the last man alive here for finalized. They did manage to get that revive onto their teammate, but at what cost? Because Team Purge now surely have to be in position to finish off this kill. It's a 2v1 situation. It's just a case of not getting split and making a mistake, but the Mastiff is in the hands of that player. So you can see someone's going to have to wait for his teammate to come in. That will be the final kill.
Okay.
Nice and simple. Bryn will fall, but here comes the third party again. And Purge, although they were feeling good, dead inside want to make them die inside of Market.
And this is a huge fight as well. Dead Inside currently in 12th, Purge in 15th. And Purge, they were kill leaders, but they go down.
But is there enough of an opening here for a team to push as Outsiders now have to sneak their way in? And they've found themselves a little corner to play here.
What can Outsiders do to try and disrupt the chances of the likes of Navi, who needed that amazing game? They are in a decent position here, do have plenty of buildings to be able to work around and have a lot of cover. They can kind of wait, they can kind of third party, but do they have enough kill points? This could be a huge kill point for them. They so desperately need to pick up as much KP as possible. The Revenant is going to be popped now. They're going to get aggressive. They want that KP, but they portal away. We're down to just 4 squads, and Navi, they are out for blood. They want everything here, Mark.
Yeah, and they're going to get the jump onto Lava City Boys as well. One player will get reset. 9imps is going to go in as well, but no one got downed in that push there from Navi. Lava City Boys managed to reset. I think we need to watch Navi in these last moments because they have the game in their hands. They're the closest to that circle. They're looking pretty comfortable. And they are the team who could really make a play here just inside that circle. Wait until that last second to take that fight as they make their move in now. 9imps is going to be the last man to go in. Unfortunately, one player will get down here. Claws, it's Mayhem, it's Bedlam and Navi! Vibin and Figvam and, of course, Lava City Boys by the skin of their teeth. Shout out to those guys from the EMEA region for making it in as well.
If it's a game, I'm losing, cause I said I'd never do this, and it's so confusing, cause with you it feels so right.